You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
I want to tell you all a little bit about a plant I know that can save the world. It grows long and tall and has flowers that can make your mind swirl. It's a funky plant with a vibe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grassroots Advocate. It's March the 31st, 2022, and this month we're going to go cover to cover with past issue number 17. I'm Al Graham, and as you can see, that way, I'm joined by Tamara, and we're going to be live here on our Facebook pages as well as on YouTube.
Are we doing issue 18? Didn't we do 17 last time?
My record showed 16 was done last time. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think if you go back to the
we haven't even discussed this. I've been so busy this morning.
Yeah, I think we're on 18 because when I looked at the website this morning, we did 17 last week.
Well.
We better double check. But I brought up 18 because I thought we did 17 last time. Hang on, I'll look again.
Do you want me to double check?
We better.
I'm already in the process of it. Hey, isn't it great, eh?
You know what?
Yeah.
It's moving really fast right now for all of us. We've got.
Yeah. Last time was issue 16 according to the webpage.
Are you sure?
According to the webpage. According to the webpage.
Okay, wait, go down. Hang on. Oh, 17 episodes. Oh, I see.
You're right. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I just got to open another tab then because I've got 18 open. So we'll open 17.
No problem.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, it's a different cover. It's beautiful too. The other one was nice too. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, hey, all the covers are nice.
Yeah, that's a beautiful cover. I like that. Actually, it's funny because looking at that, it just brings me back to those Ukrainian ladies that I'm working with. They all use cannabis too.
Oh, there you go. Good thing. All right.
She was telling me what her avocado tincture that she makes.
Avocados. I see that a lot on
Avocado
TV
oil,
these
yeah.
days. Avocados. I was at someone's place the other day, and they had glass avocados hanging from the window. Like,
She uses
wow.
avocado oil. She infuses avocado oil.
Okay. So then you will see. It's good to infuse.
And she says it just keeps her nice and calm. I said,
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Okie dokie. Well, we were talking about the cover. Shall we bring up the cover and let everybody know what it looks like?
Absolutely. It's a beautiful cover.
There we go. Nice and green. It's got the drip of oil from the leaf of a cannabis plant on it. Going into that jar.
And that's where people are at these days. They want to learn how to make their own.
Yeah. And you've asked me that as well. And as you can see here in the headlines on the front cover, we talk about CBD oil benefits, 10 of them, as well as how to make coconut cannabis oil.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what is old is new again. It's comeback time. We'll get to that.
And we're coming full circle, like especially with cannabis education now with legalization, because people, like I said, the stigma is still there, of course, but people are coming out of their closets. They're coming out of their shells. They're asking questions. They're wanting to know what the benefits are, whether it's recreational regulation or whatever. It's still cannabis accessibility.
Yes.
Access is now making it so that people are asking more questions.
Yeah, exactly. And being that it's legal now, people aren't as much in the closet or shy about it.
They're not scared. They know that they're not going to get busted for having a joint on them. And before, like a professional, like a doctor or a lawyer or somebody like that can't afford a criminal record. And let's face it, we know that people have been busted for 4 grams of marijuana.
Yeah, well, we just on the Reefer Reporters, we just covered 2 articles that were just disgusting. The state of Louisiana is talking about hard labor for 4 years for people under the age of 18 and get busted with 14 grams of cannabis. And in a country, some singer got busted for half a pound of cannabis, and he's looking at death.
Ugh. What country is that?
Unfortunately, I can't remember right now.
Oh.
I was so upset about it, Tamara. I just couldn't believe it. They're killing people over half a pound of cannabis.
2 grams. This fellow saying I was arrested for 2 grams in Chicago before it was a ticket. I did 6 months house arrest for 4 grams of marijuana in the mail in Canada before, and this was as a patient, so I was legal, but this was before legalization. I also got a possession charge for 6 grams of cannabis prior to that as well. So I didn't go to jail for that, but I ended up with a $350 fine or $150 fine and a surcharge and whatever for the first possession charge. But the trafficking is what I was charged with the 4 grams because it went in the mail, and I did 6 months house arrest, and that was in Canada. So, but death. But again, that was like the Philippines too. There for a while, right? They were any drug, anybody caught drug trafficking or anything, the penalty was death.
Yes, exactly. Just so you know, we've got a listener here on YouTube, or watcher on YouTube, I should say. They say that they were arrested for 2 grams in Chicago before it was ticketed. But he goes on to say, but luckily my case got dismissed.
And that's great. In the States too, like it's scary.
It is.
Some states, right? Like, I mean, then you've got Denver and you've got, Oregon, and you've got these other states that have really laxed off on it, which is terrific, California. But again, like, it's the same patchwork down there, but we're lucky to have a federal regulated program where it's across the board. All the federal laws in Canada are the same. So it's not like British Columbia or Alberta could all of a sudden say, you got caught with a half a pound of pot, we're going to put you to death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or we could actually say you're going to do hard labor, 14 years, whatever that, in Alberta. So that's thankful that we've got the federal regulated, legalized, and of course there are still laws. If you're caught with illicit so many overplants, you can still do 14 years in jail.
Yeah. You
get
14 years, to serve a kid.
Right, those laws are still there. That's why we kind of laugh at the whole legalization, the way they put it, because there's still laws on the books for cannabis. But again, there's still laws on the books in Quebec also for blowing glass and paraphernalia. In fact, there's laws about riding horses in town still, like they're taken off the law books. It's how they enforce them, right?
Yeah.
So, that being said, there's not been a lot of, I think what do we say? We've been saying 60,000 people have not been arrested since legalization for small possession charges. So rather than having a big, we arrested 150,000 people last year for marijuana, which was 2009, they had arrested a large amount of people for small possession of cannabis in Canada.
Yeah.
So you go ahead now 10 years later, and there's 60,000 people that haven't been arrested. That's progress. And baby steps, however this is working, it's saving people money and it's saving people their quality of life, because having a criminal record really sucks.
It sure does. It sure does. All righty. Let's continue with the magazine here. Here's the index. Got my editorial. We got the benefits of CBD oil. There's recipes. Keeping Pace, which is an advocacy article. The directory as well as their sponsors are on there. As you can see, Tamara, it is the shorter version of the magazine.
It is. It's quite short. But this is after you had gotten sick too, right? And
correct. Yes.
You know what I mean? So I mean, that's what happens. Life goes. Life throws
credits went to myself, Lisa Weingarten, the administration at HempWorks, as well as eatyourcannabis.com. That's where I find a lot of recipes. Eatyourcannabis.com. Okay, here's the editorial. And it says, "The fear of cannabis." Yes, I could just imagine. Here. It says, I still have us on the screen there. When it comes to towns, cities, and municipalities, one would think that they'll all open for business. But are they? We're also told that small businesses account for a huge chunk of employment and pay local taxes, which benefit everyone locally, so why not accept them? With the legalization of cannabis in Canada, the provinces control many aspects of it. This past January was the deadline for the communities across the province of Ontario to decide whether they wanted to allow retail cannabis stores within their boundaries.
When did you write this?
February 2019. This was right after that vote.
I was just, because this is just like so, like weren't we just talking about this yesterday again?
Yeah, exactly. Last night. And so I wrote an editorial about it in the magazine.
Oh my God,
I just didn't let this. I couldn't walk away.
And
You
you still
know,
haven't.
and I
And you
still
still haven't.
haven't. I still haven't. You know, the community wanted it. They took the survey, and council said no.
I just kind of find this so
Yeah,
ironic. We were just talking about this, and here we are again, and your town is still opting out. Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like you said, it's kind of like that wow moment.
Wow, the wow thing. All right, let's see what all I had to say here. Let's see. Decided whether they opt in. This was called opting in and opting out question, and no matter what everyone got, some upfront money from the province. When a place opted in, they would collect the standard payment, plus the province also committed to share 50% of the surplus of the federal excess tax on cannabis collected by the province. That's if it exceeded $100 million in the first 2 years. I don't know if it did or not. I couldn't tell you. According to the government website, the money could be used with law and by law enforcement, along with fire services. If a place opted out, they could opt in at another date, minus is sharing in on the before mentioned surplus to assist in those services. So if you opted out, you didn't get that extra money.
Right.
Right? There were
Well, that's fair.
400.
Why should you? If you opt in, then you get it. If you opt out, then
Correct.
you get it.
Exactly. There are 414 communities in Ontario. Of them, 77 opted out, with 337 of them opting in. Of that, 54 just let it happen. Of those who didn't hold a vote were automatically into it. Just so you know, to update you on that, I do have an update. It is now down to 66 communities have opted out here in the province. So 10 have opted back in.
Well, again, I don't understand why they wouldn't. It doesn't. It cuts down on law enforcement tax, to be fair, because you don't have the law officers running around looking for people with possession. It puts money back because, again, and I've said this over and over, they are collecting GST and PST. 75% goes to the province and 25% goes to the federal coffers. So that 75% then is cut and split in half and then given back to the municipalities, equally 50% of that. So no wonder my town has 10 little stores.
Yeah.
Because they're making hand over fist tax dollar.
Yeah.
And look in Vancouver as well. Like, they charge those guys like business licensing outrageous, $350,000 a year it was, or something. I think they brought it down, but it was ridiculous for a business license in Vancouver too. Like, and the difference in what the business licensing, all that money generates back to the municipality, not to the government. And then, like I said, the government then does send money back to the municipalities.
Yeah, exactly.
Making it for us, like the city here just decided to throw $21,000 at a overpass, project. Look just to look at it, like just a study. I'm like, where the f is the money coming from? And I thought, oh yeah.
Our friend there on YouTube, what if Thomas Anderson took a hash pill? He says that adults should have the freedom to use the herb without the risk of John Law trying to put them in the cage. Instead, the modern language of the pot reform spiel is about how weed should be legal.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly why, like, a lot of us got into, like, Al got into, cannabis activism because he's a patient. When I first started, it was about law reform. I wanted to see the laws changed because I thought it was, and it wasn't so much because I didn't really realize I was a patient until I got involved in the cannabis industry and met Michelle and realized that I've got colitis. She had Crohn's, she was using it. And then I kind of realized that maybe I was using it medicinally too. And then really kind of started focusing more on my body and getting used to the medical part of it, right? But when I first started this, it was about changing the law. It was about getting rid of this stupid law.
Yeah, and so you should understand where I'm coming from with fighting with our town and opting out.
Yeah, I absolutely do. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that any city council, unless they're like, I don't know what their background, if they're really religious, if they just are fearful, and there's some people you'll just never get through to, Al, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's right. They say that some places say that there was no upside for opting out and believe that opting in would provide them with some funding and that a store would contribute to the location's economic growth and create jobs. They say it would reduce the black market sales, allow for some control, and provide what some describe as better, safer product. There were communities opted out because they felt that the province had too much control over things, and that's where Mississauga and Oakville come into play. They didn't like that the province had to approve the locations as they themselves wanted to do so. Some thought the information that was provided was too vague and wanted to go with a wait-and-see approach. It also mentioned that the decision to opt out was largely made by older conservative councils. That have issues with cannabis. One expert says that most local governments rely on the advice of staff reports, and I don't think I came across one staff report that recommended opting out. So the decision by some councils to opt out, I think, was purely political. And just so you know, in our community, 75% of the community in the survey said to opt in, and the staff report said to opt in, and council opted out.
How many do you have on your city council?
How many? What?
How many city councilors do you have in your town?
Five, including the mayor.
5, including the mayor, and we've got 6, including the mayor.
Yeah, so we have 5. We have 3 that opted out.
And the mayor does. Does your mayor get a vote? Our mayor gets a vote.
Yeah, she voted. Yeah, she was supportive.
So. That's the thing. Like the mayor is supportive. Like that's what is bothersome. The mayor is supportive of the incentive because she's realizing the tax benefits to the town. She should be helping. You should be poking at her and helping her lobby to get her the rest of her councillors on this.
Well, see, now we've run into this problem. Anybody brings it forward, it's being looked at as political gain. And
so, what if it is?
Well, people don't like that.
Well, too bad. You know what? We've got an election coming up here for a new mayor.
You know, if somebody brings forward a motion to redo the roads at such and such section because it's all broken up, is that all political gain? Because
because they approved it, like
they approved it, yeah, correct.
That's I just don't even understand that logic. But anyway,
yes, exactly. I'll keep going here. All right, the town where I reside chose to opt out. Why? Well, I'm not sure. I've asked in an email, but I've gotten little response. I've waited weeks and have only gotten one reply as to why, which was partially due to safety concerns. The local media reports that the mayor says council chose to opt out based on what the constituents told them. Yeah, 74.4% of the people who did the survey said allow the stores. Unfortunately, like many locations, we had a local public survey for feedback. As I said, our survey had a 74% approval rate. And like the experts said, our staff report said to opt in, which they say was based on the survey and the information it provided. So did they really represent what their constituents told them? Our local surveys, yeah. Is it based on just the fact that that's what they told them personally? And
sounds like you need to set up a organized protest.
I know. April 20th is just going around the corner.
Right? I would go set up on front.
Very tempting.
I would go and set up on their front lawn.
Yeah.
I would. That's me. I would go and get a bunch of, like, you had Adam on last night and see if he's got a bunch of friends and see if there you got some people that are willing to stand with you. And I would go set up on their front lawn and do a 420 because that's public space. That's legal for you to have a protest on. Just suggestion.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad suggestion whatsoever.
I know it's your anniversary though too, so it's kind of.
It is my wedding anniversary. That's right.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword, Al.
Yeah. So did council really represent what the constituents told them? Our local surveys not representation of what the constituents are telling them? Or was it really what they personally told them? Was it because of what the experts said was purely political, or was it the fear of cannabis? I believe it was the fear of cannabis is why they opted out. They said that in the end, I found out that they opted out because they were worried about youth consumption. They were worried about impaired driving, and they were worried about being known as a community with a prevalence of drugs in it.
So that means every community across this country now is prevalent with drugs in it because they have a cannabis store.
Yeah.
That's correct. Ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's why I call it. Is it the fear of cannabis?
That's just the most ridiculous thing. Anyway, I just can't get over some of the ridiculous comments some of these people that come up with.
I know, it's sad, isn't it?
It
All right,
absolutely is.
on to the Cannabis in You, which is the medical article that is in here, and the top 10 CBD oil benefits. So let's just sort of quickly scroll through them. Go to page 5. All right.
All right. Yeah, the caps on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Stress reliever. A good number. Yeah. They say, cannabis oil is a good stress reliever. And as you and I know, stress can cause medical conditions.
Stress can cause death.
Yes. Yes.
It's actually what I think one of the top leading causes of death in both in North America. So yeah.
Yeah. Increased consciousness. And they say it does that through regulating of the dopamine levels that help keep you focused on daily chores. As long as you're not dealing with ADHD. Well, for some people with ADHD, there's benefit there.
For some people, I'm not going to say that for some people it might not work. And
yeah. Completely agree. Completely agree.
Because I did, like I said, I've tried before I tap and actually go and get anything, and I've tried CBD, and it does nothing for me. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because trust me, I wish that it did. I wish that I could just say that I used cannabis as medicine and that I didn't have to take anything else. I really wish I could.
Nice, eh? I know. Yeah. Same here. Cannabidol relieves anxiety and depression. They say here, according to a 2014 journal report on the central nervous system and neurology disorders, gave credit to it for helping people with as antidepressant. Yeah. Cannabidol manages epilepsy and other mental health disorders. We hear about the epilepsy all the time.
Yeah, but to be fair too, like I can't speak for Sarah, but I know that Maya had to take pharmaceuticals
as well. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And even if when you listen to Allison or anybody that's dealing with, there's very, very few people that we do know that just use cannabis as medicine.
I'm still on pharmaceutical drugs. I got to go in actually tomorrow for my treatment. $3,700.
Right.
For that visit. Yeah.
Right. So again, like we use it in conjunction as a natural like therapy kind of thing. Like I think it's more therapeutic because it helps with my nausea, to be honest, and that kind of stuff. But it doesn't help with everything. It works in concert with, I would say. I think is the best way to describe how, it works in concert because it is helpful, but it's not helping everything, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it doesn't help everybody. So
we got a comment down here where Rick Simpson has just recommended to use Simpson's oil. Well, that's for cancer as well. But you know what? Yeah. Rick Simpson's also not a doctor. Rick Simpson is not a medical professional, and we have to listen to our doctors. And we will never, ever step over our medical professionals because none of us are doctors. So I don't.
There's some people. There's people who choose. They have you have a choice. Just like
exactly.
I had a choice,
right?
And I chose to use cannabis instead of opiate drugs.
Right. Exactly.
For painkillers. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. But this comment we've got down here, Rick Simpson recommends you just use Simpson oil. Freedom of speech. In Canada, we don't have freedom of speech. Sorry, we don't have that ability here in Canada.
And a lot of people are calling it fecal now.
It's fecal. Yeah.
Fecal, yeah.
We do have the freedom to choose what you do, but nobody's forcing you to go to see a doctor. But again, we're not medical professionals, and you shouldn't be giving medical advice unless you're absolutely a medical doctor.
All right. They say here that CBD has anti-cancerous effects. They also say it's essential for diabetic and cholesterol patients. Natural pain reliever. Worked for me. Neuroprotective. It helps to rejuvenate skin, hair, and nails. Promotes bone growth and healing. And you can see here there's a chart. This is a chart that I used to hand out at shows that I attended to, and it breaks down some of the benefits.
Right. And look at how many compounds are within that.
Oh,
to
I know, eh?
like, it's just amazing, like the science that's involved with, and we have to thank the scientists that have taken the time to actually study this, because it's not something that they're all doing either, right? Like not every doctor is on board with any of this. So that's when you do go to your naturopath and you do start listening to testimonials, and you do start, looking for other answers, and you're allowed to do that too, right? But
Oh, yeah.
some scientist, somebody somewhere has done this, right?
Most times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I see it's the top of the hour. We're halfway through the magazine. Why don't we take a break?
Okay.
All righty. Sound good to you?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Yeah, I'll just take that off the screen so everybody can see us if they're looking at the magazine. All right.
Right.
Off the break we go. Tamara and I will pay some bills. You're listening or watching Grassroots Advocate, and we are live here on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook and YouTube pages. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Hi folks, Scott from stfattiesday.com here, and we're absolutely stoked to tell you about our brand new program called Pass the Peace Pipe and our partnership with Legacy 420 out of Tyndonega. We are absolutely proud to be partners with these people. They are an amazing group that have helped so many people with their amazing cannabis medicinal products. And we are working together to gather funds to build the first ever Indigenous specific opioid addiction center here in the Bay of Quinte area on Tyndonega land. So we need your help. We need you to repost this video and go to our GoFundMe campaign, because on this October 17th, St. Fatty's Day, we are going to be starting the campaign where we pass the peace pipe from one side of the country to another to unite our country, to gather awareness, but most importantly funds to build opioid addiction centers across the nation, one build at a time.
In February of 2022, the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and Ted Smith were fined $6.5 million. This for helping 8,500 patients with access to medical cannabis. In our interview with Ted, he spoke to us about how people can donate to help in an upcoming court challenge. And here is part of that interview. From what I've seen lately, I believe that you've got something that you're trying to do as far as fundraising to deal with this next court challenge.
For now, people can write checks directly to Jack Lloyd Law Corporation or send e-transfers to save the VCBC at gmail.com. I guess those are the two easiest ways for people to help right now.
Growing your own cannabis is easier than you think. Whether you're growing for recreational or medical purposes, BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. From the standard 4-plant recreational systems to the latest cutting-edge hydroponic equipment, BMA can customize your package and do it at discount prices. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and ask us for a free estimate. Or call 613-967-9888 and we will give you an estimate over the phone.
The only way to go.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. Hey, we're back from our break, and you're watching Grassroots Advocate. And this month we're covering issue 17, and we are live here on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook and YouTube pages. Got all that out there. I see we got lots of... What's that?
I figured out how to split my screen.
All right, good stuff.
That's what
Good
I was doing
stuff.
over the break. It's like, and then it's like, I did it.
I see Thomas has got lots of comments on here.
Yes.
I'm gonna grab one that which I agree with here on the fact that the most crucial development in the push for cannabis legalization in the United States has been the concept of happening through the state legislative, and that it is. Obviously the federal government down there is really taking their sweet ass time in order to get it done. And it's
But is that because but in the states, is it because that they've given so much power to the states, and even the states have given so much power to the counties, that overstepping that actual umbrella of federal legislation because of Congress might not ever happen? And it's going to have to go through small stages like that. Is it kind of like that? Like that, because I'm not really understanding exactly.
Well, let's look at it this way: the
Like-
MORE Act, which is going to be cannabis involved with banking and other things.
Right.
It has passed the House 6 times.
Right.
It's never gotten to the Senate.
Right.
Politically, it's held up there because Mitch McConnell he's the guy who decided what was coming forward when he was the majority leader, and he'd never bring it forward.
Well, that's the thing. He has poo-pooed anything that was good for the United States for the last 2 decades, and whether they're sitting in the House or not, that's one thing about Mitch McConnell. He's never. Sorry, I have very little use for him, and I don't care what party it is. He's just not he's not progressive in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. And he's got another comment here where he mentions not only is the state giving adults access to legal cannabis, but also for giving criminal records for past offenses, and has been set aside for a substantial chunk of change.
Some are, yes. Yeah.
And that is something that we complain about what our country did, because we didn't do that.
They didn't, right?
Well,
they said they would get rid of the small possession charge, but you still had to apply for a permit.
Still had to apply.
Very few ever got through, right? And then if you had any trafficking or anything, you weren't eligible.
100.
But you can still get a pardon for all that stuff. It just costs and takes a lot.
It still costs. Yeah. The one fee is eliminated. The government's fee is eliminated, but any other fees that getting up to that point, getting your criminal record check printed off, whatever from the police department, you got to pay for all that still. Whereas down in the U.S., they've just wrote it right into law. Gone. So
he said the mayor. There's got another couple comments down here, Al. Marijuana Opportunities Reinvestment Expansion Act isn't the only bill to legalize, and there's not been enough compromised people state to legalize.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. Like, is it a state to state decision? Do they have to all
right now?
Say that all the states agree so that they can do it federally? Like, would that be how? Because I think that. Because we did so much consultation up here in Canada, to be fair, like we went, the policymakers went across the country to each province and sat down with lots of stakeholders when it came to legalization, and the provinces came to the same agreement and consensus to the way the policy ran out. So is that the way it would work in the States too, where you all have to come together every 52, 3 states and do the same thing, right? But in Canada, that's how we got our policy through.
No, they can do it independently. They
Right?
can do it independently, and the administrations over the years have said that. That's because that is a state right where they have that, because individual states were.
But again, if you go from a state that's legal to a state that's not, that state that's not can then charge you, and then you
correct.
start.
Well, then you got you're interstate. You're crossing state lines, and that's
right. And in Canada, we don't have that issue. We don't have.
No, we don't. What we do, well, in
Not even
regulation control, there is some issue there.
Remember, they amended that even with alcohol, because before it was
yes, they did.
Transport alcohol and stuff. But they amended that because of the New Brunswick Quebec beer issue a few years ago.
Yeah.
So now you can bring alcohol back.
Now they can. Yeah.
Same
All
with
right. On to the magazine. Switch topics here. I got some things I got to do this afternoon, unfortunately.
Right, we can't sit here all day. I've got pierogies to make.
Yes, exactly. And I've got some things. I got a meeting to do at 1:00. Let's see. So recipes, coconut cannabis oil. I'm going to say that everybody has their own way of doing this, right? There's a bunch of different ways of doing it, but this is one way that was available at the time. And they talk about putting it in a crock pot.
Yeah.
They say half an ounce of cannabis to a cup of the MCT coconut oil.
Yep.
Adjust as required, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's
The longer
all
you
really,
soak it, the greener it's going to be. Just saying. Like
that's
that's
right.
you
Yeah,
pull
the
the green for that. So
greener it's going to be, the greener it's going to taste.
right. So exactly. So I've always, when I see these things that say 5 to 24 hours, I always go, I think 24 hours sometimes is a bit too long because you're pulling so much green out of it. So I would watch it, and when it starts turning kind of like a nice golden color, that's when I would pull it off. That's my suggestion. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Everybody else, again, if you want to leave it for 24 hours, you go right ahead.
Yeah, I've done it at 24 hours, lots of times, and yeah, you get greener taste and all that with it. But I know the Magic Butter machine, they recommend an hour.
Yeah, that's all when I make canna butter, I put it on the stove, like we're talking just a pound of butter with my 70 grams of cannabis all ground up, and I have 45 minutes, and then I'm pulling it off because it's been on long enough to activate everything that you need to and transfer all of the. You don't want to start transferring the green because the green's not medicine. The green's chlorophyll. It's actually
still chlorophyll has got some
right.
benefit.
Well, for us with colitis and Crohn's, it hurts me all. So I try and keep as much green. Like I can't eat a lot of green vegetables either, to be fair. With my
really?
Yes, right. It's not. They don't agree with me.
Good iron.
So but again, that's me. That's my individual.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, because I eat green vegetables all the time.
Yeah, I can't eat them.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So yeah, it's just a really easy thing. You throw your coconut oil in the crock pot and you throw your cannabis in there once it's melted and you stir it in. That's it. You let it simmer away for however long you want to do it. Stir it every once in a while so it doesn't, stick to the bottom, I'm going to basically say. And once it's done, strain it through the cheesecloth and you're over and done with. Throw it in the fridge or the freezer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just takes time. It's not hard. It's just time consuming.
Correct. Now, the next one, talking about avocados, as we did earlier in the show. This looks like an avocado canna vinaigrette dressing for salads.
Yeah.
So you can even infuse your salad, people.
Right.
Look at that. It says it takes 24 hours to make it. And you need a blender. You need that coconut oil that you just made. You need some, if you want, some white wine vinegar. I don't know if you can just use regular vinegar. Canola oil, as well as, look at, there's a whole list of stuff here. Avocados, garlic, Worcestershire sauce, oregano. Well, you just use cannabis instead of oregano.
You could. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But I guess it wouldn't have the oregano flavor. I guess you use oregano.
Maybe, yeah.
Italian flavoring, right? So, but you could add, some cannabis too.
Some basil, some lemon juice, some rosemary, some dry mustard, and pepper.
That sounds actually pretty good to be.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nice.
And it looks easy by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
What's it say? Heat up the coconut oil slowly, just enough until it turns liquid. Combine all the ingredients together in the food processor and blend and mix until smooth. Store in a container. Allow it to sit for 24 hours to maximize the flavor. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. Except that it's all green.
Yeah, there you go. We need a salad. Put that on your, I guess you don't want to use it on a Caesar salad, but you got your mixed green salad. You could use it as a dipping
sauce too, like you could dip your nuggets in it or anything like.
Hey, there's an idea, yeah.
As a dipping sauce for, carrots even, like
use it. Yeah, put it when you make a vegetable tray.
Yeah, and you could use it as a dipping
as a dip.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a good idea.
Just a little different because there was avocado dip. It's an avocado dip. Salad dressing. Ranch is a dressing too. Yeah, I'd use it as a dip. Yep.
Yeah. All righty. On to the Keeping Pace article, which is usually around advocacy, and it says comeback time. What do you think this could be about? I know what it is, obviously, but you got any idea? Comeback time. Got any idea?
Well, we've had a lot of stuff that had to come and go, so it could be almost anything.
It could be almost anything. Well, what it is, as I write this, it's freezing outside. It's cold. It's really cold out there. But this has to do with the magazine publications coming back. Skunk Magazine, because it was shut down for a while, and it returned and here it says this past summer we saw the return of Skunk Magazine, which was at the Indigenous Cannabis Music Fest at Tioga Mohawk Territory. That was what Legacy 420 put on, and that was when they came back, when they released that issue. Treating Yourself magazine, it was shut down in 2013, and it got sold around this time of this publication. Many people were sort of hoping the publication would come back, but it didn't. Mind you, the website did, and it is still, all the back issues of the magazine are available there for download. And people were hoping the Treating Yourself Expo would be returning because of the fact that the magazine was back. And you know what the Treating Yourself Expo was like. So, we were looking forward for that as a return.
They did have one similar to, but it wasn't the same, I heard.
Yeah, and the Lift Expo is what's going on in there now. Let's see what else. And Grassroots Advocate. It returned as well because I was sick. I was hospitalized, and it was shut down for quite a while.
And then 12 High Chicks kind of came out of the background there too for a while, but then legalization kind of shut us all back down again.
That's right. Yeah. So the publications were coming back, so that was a good sign to see. And there's our directory where people can go get signing clinics. Some of them I know are still operating. That was their schedule at the time. And our sponsors, BMA Hydroponics and Legacy 420.
Got a beautiful location out there, don't they? It's a beautiful location.
Yes, it is. It is. There's that, no doubt about that. Nice place. Yeah. Oh, there's he's got all kinds of comments in there. Our friend there, Thomas. But he goes on about, he talks about the minority and equality, social equality, and that was something that wasn't included in our legislation, which I'm seeing happening down in the U.S.
I think because of our Truth and Reconciliation, that's been a big. That's where our kind of like different in regulations go, because with their ability to do what they want on their own reservations, it's different than what our regulations are off. So, and there was consultation done because they were at the table when I was there. They were at the table. I'm not sure what the initial outcome are, and I think they're still working in consultation to find some sort of way to go forward so that everybody's equal, right?
Yeah. I'm sure they will eventually at some point. But right now, I look at it as Canada, as I said last night, has three systems in play.
Yeah, sorry?
3 systems in play in Canada when it comes to legalization. We have the markets, right?
Yeah.
We have the federal one, we have the Indigenous one, and we have the illicit one.
The legacy. Yeah, the legacy, illicit, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, legacy. Yeah.
Or the gray, or whatever they want to call it. And there's still three splits. Yeah. And
I try not to see the legacy in because we have the Legacy 420 as our sponsor, and I just try to not get that confused with some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, they're a legacy, in their own right too. Right?
Yes, they are.
They started the first one on the reservations out there, did they not? Or weren't they one of the very first?
Yeah. Tim started that in 2015.
Right. So he's a pioneer out there, and good on them, and they've done such a great job with the testing and all the ability that they've got. I think that's just wish.
Yeah. And there's more coming. I can tell you, there's more coming.
That's great.
Yeah, they're not stopping.
No, and that's great. Like I said, the momentum is there now. Now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, is there anything we need to touch on?
No, I think I'm good. I think we
good?
did a good job again, as usual. We're always, kind of nicely, quickly ripped it all off in 45 minutes. So
that's right.
I've got appointments, and I've got pierogies to make. So
Yeah, yeah, yes, and yeah. I got that. Like I said, I got that meeting, and I've got to actually go to Camelford. I got to deal with medical stuff. So
Right. Yep. But no, we're good now for till next month for
for next
Grassroots
month,
Advocate, right?
that's
And
right.
then we're gonna have to come up with another ideas by looking at the list. Looks like we're running out of
We're
episodes.
running out of past issues, and we will be talking what the future looks like with the program.
Right?
And my plans are to keep going. So once we run
We always keep going.
this,
That's right.
it'll look a little different, but
We'll
thank you.
figure it out. We'll get it figured out.
That's right. All right. In closing, I'd like to say that just a reminder to everybody know that, as you said, next broadcast, next month will be issue 18. You can find Pace on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're online, pace-online.ca. Thank you. Just go to our sponsors. I always like to remind people our sponsors, and I always like to thank them for making sure that our
Thank you very much. Absolutely. Yeah.
Legacy420.com, BMAhydroponics.com, drbuckcts.com, and the Camelford Lifestyle Shop. Plus, as always, a big thank you to our listeners for tuning in the program, and have a great day.
Have a good day, everyone.
I want to tell you all a little bit about a plant.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.